どうも、ハギです。ビヨンドリーチ続きをプレイしていきましょう。リーチのエリアに入ったところなんですけどね、一緒に来た商人がこの後ろの馬車の荷台置いてっちゃったんですよね馬だけで行っちゃったんですけどね、大丈夫なんかな。次に影響なかったらいいんですけどねで、次はメロサという多分マーラの女司祭かな、おばあちゃんらしいんですけど、その人に会いに行くっていうところですね。それでは行ってみましょう。お、なんだこいつら。多くの避難民。どこに行くんだ。
Getting out of the reach before things turn sour for my kind. Many of my brethren have the same feeling of another disaster approaching. My father told me of the pogrom he survived in his day. Such a terrible story that I hope that I or my family never has to experience one ourselves.
なぜそんな状況に。
There's been hatred against my kind in these lands for the longest time, but with that Orsinium sons raiding and causing their stir among the Bretons, the retaliation from the Manmer will most likely have orcs like me in the crossfire.
この辺では多くは迫害受けてんのか。まあもともとそういうもんやけどね。
But now the Empire is weak, and the Bretons grow angry. We don't want to tempt fate by sticking around.
これから向かう行き先のあてはあるのか。
If you shared our race, I would tell you, but you don't. So I'm not risking our
ああ、これ自分が多くやったらもっと話込み合った話聞いてくれん、言ってくれんのかな。そうか。
Safe travels.
何か用か。
お、こいつ名前あるやん。なんでお前だけ名前があるんだ。これ多くできてたら話違うんやろな。あ、馬がある。
Be on your guard.
こいつはリーチの商人って名前ついてんや。スカイリムに帰るときにこの人に話しかけんか。なるほど。この馬もらってええんかな。もらってくよいいんかな。おお、なんやろ。グリフォンじゃないな。マンティコアでもないか。何やったんやろ今の。
Hold up. Haven't seen you up here before. What's your business?
誰が話しかけてきた。ウィッチマンが西のちゃうか。西の見張り島を襲っていたので、その旨メロサ様にお伝えすべく参上したのだが。あ、この上におんのかな。見えへんけど。誰かおったっぽいよな。あ、なんだこいつは。アルゴニア。
お嬢さん、疲れてるみたいだな。もしよかったらリラックスできる物があるんだが。
バニラのセリフが。
最高級のスクーマに甘いムーンシュガーだ。値段も相場だよ。
あまり合法的じゃないな。
まあな、衛兵を呼んだりはしないよな。
Let me teach him a lesson.
衛兵呼ばないからいいよ。
They say that Ulfric was captured and killed.
He wasn't killed. A dragon came to rescue him.
あ、いた結構強いやんじゃあ
You're mad.
Beg for mercy.
Besides, the dragons hated us back then. They would hate us now. How does it mend grudges?
はい。
やめろ。あ、結構強い。
Good meat.
止められへんな。
need more sleep.
殺してしまったよ。
George Bones. Who could have done such a thing?
いやこいつが襲ってくるからさ。なんかかわいそうなことしてしまったな。てかこいつらの話もちゃんと聞けてなかったけど。ディバイドでの生活はどんな感じなんだ？
Dull and miserable, as per usual. I've been thinking of heading back to Skyrim
ディバイドっていうの
just
が
to
こ
see
の
the sun in all its glory again.
ここのことなのか、このエリアのことなのか、ここのことなのか、ちょっとわからんなまだ。で、こっち？
This is gonna hurt.
おー、
Fresh news for the
結
hardy
構しっ
folk
か
of
り
the
した
Divide.
街並みですね。
Horrific doom befalls the hamlet of Sabbath, torn to shreds
they're
by
closed
vile
right now?
magic.
あ、ここ
It
がや
has
っ
been
ぱディバイドの
overtaken
街な
by
んやな。
death, or should I say, undeath. Hear ye, hear ye. The Witchman raid leaves Evermore's eastern border exposed like a fair maiden's hip. The Imperial Watchtower's garrison butchered entirely. More and more ships trouble the waters of Illic Bay every day as corsairs from Hammerfell continue to ravage our coasts. The orcs still lurk in the countryside, and they are out for blood. Remain within the city walls, or at least don't travel alone. The latest flood devastated the settlement of Forlorn. Bad news for travelers. The village's inn is now serving nobody but fish. The affliction threatens to engulf the Reach as more and more fatalities are reported, even witnessed at times. Pray to the eight for good.
今ナインって言いそうだったんやんけ。
The ancient curse's echo grows louder as the undead guardians of Grey Belmore begin to stray farther from their dark fortress. If your journey takes you past Grey Belmore, do not tarry, or do if your fighting prowess permits. Farm food stealer caught! The once elusive man who ate the feed of cows, horse, and hen. Yes, even manure was thrown into the undertow. Where he will spend the rest of his days, his last words before having the jail gate slammed on him? What's for desserts? There's been much talk about dragons returning to Skyrim. Must be the Nord festival season of mead again. Sorry, that's all the news for today.
おう、ご苦労様です。ここもなんかいろいろあるみたいやな。この中か。どっから上がるの？
Sometimes I yearn for those simpler times.
絶対上
Where
が
a
る。
cold winter was the worst of our concerns. Hey,
おいちょっと待てよ。
do me a favor, will you?
話の腰を折るんじゃ
I'll
ね
make it worth the trouble.
どうした物乞い？
Look, I need some gear, friend. Real fast, like. I'm willing to part with whatever gold I got here, if you agree, that is. Just need you to give the rest of this pouch to a fella named Elrich, down in Arnima. He'll be festering with the rest
これ
of
多
our
分サブ
ilk.
クエ
You know,
やろうな。
a mirror to the decadence of our capital.
見つけられたらそう伝えておこう。だから金を渡すんだな。
When coin brings a more, you've earned yourself a friend. From our mutual anything you need, I mean anything, and I'll return the favor. Just don't go asking while my eyes are at the back of my head. That's my happy time.
サブクエがあるのか。これか。まあ一応つけといてやろう。っていうかこの上どうやって登るんや。あ、ここか。結構いろいろクエストありそうやな。
You wanted to speak of Mortavane. I've heard the news from the council that his seat in Arnima may be put
これが
into
メロサさん。
question.
ババアって言って
You
たけど
had correct,
そんな
because
ことない
he
や
and
ん。
his guards are demanding more gold from the merchants, while also becoming more aggressive. No
なんか
better
変なもん
than
かもってる
thugs.
なんじゃないや。
And that little lord does nothing but encourage it. I despise that unsightly man. Every conversation with him is extremely unpleasant. His paranoia also makes it so we can't have any of our own in that town to keep an eye on him.
I have a missionary within the temple down there. He shares whispers with me on occasion. If you need consoling on this, you only need to ask. If I may beg my pardon, I shall return to servicing this temple.
Very well. Make a prayer that nothing terrible arises from this disorder. It's good to have the gods listening in times like this.
お、
Out with it.
あなたがメロサー様ですか？
Have we arranged a meeting, or is it your intent to address nobility lacking proper decorum? Speak quickly, lest you rile my temper.
見張り塔について知らせに参上したウィッチマンに略奪されていたぞ。
Oh, a harbinger of grim news.
女司祭じゃな
Not
く
the
て
best first impression.
ここの
Well,
領主
thank
み
you
たいな
for
もんか。
telling me in advance of my own guards. It was only a matter of time before they spilled further east.
こちらは使いに過ぎないのだが。
Pardon the introduction, yet understand the need for it. We can't have any wandering yokel approach royalty like they're of
お
the
上か
same
ら来るじ
stock.
ゃねえか。
It's not good for the kingdom's image. We'll have the guard there as soon as possible. But for you, are you interested in some coin? We need someone to talk to us.
何をすればいい？
Yes, well, onto the matter. To the east of this bridge lies the town of Ornima, formerly Raven Spring, lest you run into a resident whose mind is stuck in bygone years. Can get confusing, much like everything else in this land. Within Ornima, you will find Jacos, who trains the scout detachment there. He's the only man that I somewhat trust, who's not completely beholden to his lord. Ask him about rumors. Tell him that I sent you. He should understand your intent. We've conducted affairs before. A simple nod from him will be more than enough information for you to infer. You don't need to know any further than that.
ずいぶん簡単に人を信じるのだな。
Ask yourself, would a noble or an unknown scoundrel have their head on a pike in case a little conspiracy became public?
自分は安全と。さあな。
Remember that if you go speaking aloud about your duty, I will simply deny any involvement and you will be watching over the reach without a torso. Now off you go. Earn a small fortune for yourself. I heard Evermore has many an opportunity to entertain your proclivities. Under stipulation of coin, mind you. Such coin that will be available on your return.
町の東の塔を襲っていたウィッチマンについて知っておきたい。奴らは何者だ？
I'm no expert nor historian, but what I can tell you should be the same that every Reach man would recite when speaking of those savages. Accounts state that this new incarnation of the Witchman appeared near 2 decades back,
マンスタ事件。
just after the incident at Munstor.
マンスタとは？
You haven't heard of it either. I feel like I'll be going over the history of
知らねえよ。
every blade of grass in the Reach. I digress. Munstor was an abandoned fort far to the north that has since succumbed to its frozen locale. Peasants, serfs, and other seditious souls had made a great exodus under the cover of night, all leaving their fields, abandoning the lords they were sworn to serve. Of course, when all your labor, thus wealth, absconds in but a moment, there will be tremors. So the lords had sent men to trail these wayward workers all the way to Munstor. What they saw was an ostensibly bizarre affair. both witchmen and peasants forming a decadent commune, many turning to layabout who engaged in petty pleasures and shirking the labor that had made them.
ウィッチマンに農民が合流。一緒に住みたいような奴らじゃないだろう。
I see you're not one for absorbing the finer details of a conversation. This was before they had all turned feral. Not to say they weren't savage before, but that former identity was ultimately harmless, unlike those you see now. The lords eschewed violence at first, instead opting to subvert the commune, freeing their scum and exiles northward, with the condition that they go live in Munstor. The hope was that the delusional dreamers of that town would abandon their fickle want for equality once extreme personalities had entered their midst.
それで町の住人はどうした？
To our utter astonishment, they didn't. These scum that would haunt our societies were either subsumed into the mix or blocked from entry, leading many to evaluate the true intent of these radicals. We thought they were just pacifists who'd allow any and all into their ranks, which would spell doom for any gathering. Panic-stricken, many lords conspired, finally pushing for the siege that would be that commune's undoing. Cutting off food, digging extensive tunnels to both poison their wells and revealing more avenues for attack. Lastly, clear diplomacy, to impart some reason into those serfs, enough for them to return to civilization and abandon these naive ideals.
それでこの話にはどのような結末が？
The lords saw the beneficiaries within Munstor, a gathering of hag ravens who were prolonging the siege to impossible lengths. Then crumbs of discontent were found among the militia. Fear gripped the nobility that these ideas could spread to every serf. Nobility, not just from Evermore, but from all over High Rock, sent aid when they heard how severe the crisis was. All of High Rock seemingly united to crush the small town. Yet only a Luddite would think so simply. This was to crush an idea, a canker that'd undo the very world we haven. So the Lord's strength was honed into one blow, throwing all their might at those walls. They fell, and what mercy we would have spared upon those misguided serfs was instead replaced with conviction to stamp out a chaotic ideology.
つまりあなたたちは濃度を皆殺しにしたというわけか。
No. They,
however,
did, to the last man,
すごい長い。
woman and child, a Pyrrhic victory in the truest sense. Evermore had lost half its serf class, yet the lords were elated that the existential crisis of revolution was averted. Exceptionally harsh measures were put in place for anyone that even uttered the commune's name, or who dared to evoke the same rebellious sentiments. And so that concludes the tale of
なるほど
Monster.
ね。悲劇的な話だ。だがそれとこの新しいウィッチマンにどのような関わりが？
Almost lost myself in another tale. Maybe because that question isn't as easily answered. Bear with me, as what follows can drift into conjecture. Rumors from the nobility in that siege reported seeing figures watching the slaughter unfold in the town, neither part of the kingdom's militia or the defendants. Scouts were dispatched to see who the strange party was, and upon their return they displayed strange idols, with the scouts claiming them as gifts from those shady silhouettes, though their names or identities were never disclosed. Most of the nobility had discarded these charms immediately, except for that wretched Mortifane, who was enamored by that hideous amulet that still wrings his filthy neck.
彼らの狙いは一体？
If I could tell you, then we'd already be halfway to a solution by now, but that's where my knowledge ends. I hope you enjoyed the tale. It's always a guilty pleasure to recite when the low-born are acting up.
あ、そうや、もう一個あんねんな。 街道を旅する上で何か気をつけた方がいいことなどあるか？
I assume you're new to the Reach and haven't become acquainted with anything further than this bridge, so a brief lesson in geography is in order. Just beyond the southern gate of the settlement lays Sabbath,
サバト。
a town recently ravaged by a mage that was still sniffing out. However, our search was impeded from the risen dead that malcontent left in their wake.
魔術師を倒せばアンデッドの軍勢の問題は解決するのか？
It's a possibility, yet I'm not staking any more men on a hope. We're but a fledgling town when it comes to arms. Our guard exists for immediate defense, not to be used in any failed excursion.
あ、これは長かった。
Next we meet.
Stranger,
おっと、
fancy an extra blade to accompany you through the menagerie that is the Reach?
傭兵。マーラの聖堂で商談か。金のために仕事をする奴らの間でも見下げた行いだぞ。
Who said I'm not working for our mum as well?
ウルヴァリンみたいな
If
名
it
前。
makes you feel any better, I spare a little prayer for every unfortunate bastard that happens to meet my axe. Besides, haven't you done just the same thing?
せやな
Maybe poor of
人の
vision,
こと
but
言え
I
んな。
ain't deaf.
それとこれとは話は別だ。メロサ殿に協力することでこちらはここの民の役に立つことをしているんだからな。
Always a spin, huh? Look, I ain't gonna knock you for earning a little extra coin. Not many other options to do so around the Reach. Though if you're ever feeling down and you need a rough pauldron to cry on, then I'm your man. Though I've got a little problem with my
と膝に矢を
legs.
受けたのか。
You see, they can't move unless I rub them with some coin. Say, 500 septums to be exact. So, will you help a poor old codger to walk again?
ほう。5000か。っていうか選択肢ないじゃん。
Gold makes me a happy man. Now let's go buy some
まあいいか。
skulls before I bore my ass off.
普通にフォロワーになったの。
Till next time.
いきなり5000ゴールド失ったが。
Got something on your mind?
特になんか話があるわけじゃないや。
Alright then.
そっか、今回はフォロワー付きになるのか。では今回この辺りで終わろうと思います。ほぼほぼメロサさんとの会話で終わっちゃいましたけどね。どうしてもストーリー重視の元だとこういうことになりがちなんですけどね。リグモールもそうでしたけどね。会話のところもっとゴリゴリカットしていけばもっと詰めて作れるんですけど、それもなんかあんまり自分の趣味に合わないんでね。うちはこういうスタイルでやっていくんで、それでもよければ見ていただけたら幸いです。それではまた次回お会いしましょう。